One of the most talked about topics right now is the cost of goods. Inflation has hit one of its highest peaks in years, and the cost of everything is going up. Doesn't matter if it's transportation or if it's groceries, cost of living is on the rise. Well, that is what we're going to talk about in today's video. What is the cost of living on Vancouver Island? And specifically, what is the cost of living in the Comox Valley? Now, these are topics that are the top most Googled searches for the cost of living on Vancouver Island. And we're gonna go into them in detail today. So let's go get after it right now. If it's your first time to the channel, you'll want to click on that subscribe button down below and tap the bell so you'll get instant notifications about the real estate market and the lifestyle in the Comox Valley and North Vancouver Island. My name is Justin White with the High Tide Real Estate Group. My team and I get texts, emails, and phone calls from people like you, and you each and every day. So no matter if you're 9 months, 9 weeks, or 9 days away from making the move to the Comox Valley, be sure to click down below. All of our details are there. Set up a Zoom call and get your questions answered now about making the move so we can help to make it smooth and easy for you and your family. So today we're going to be talking about the cost of living in the Comox Valley and of course on Vancouver Island. When we talk about BC, most people think it stands for British Columbia, which it does. But it also stands for something else. Bring cash. BC is the most expensive province to live in all of Canada, and the most expensive city is Vancouver. Now we're talking about Vancouver Island North. We're talking about Comox Valley, Campbell River, Cumberland, Comox. So we want to be very specific about what is the cost to live here, because as I mentioned, the cost of everything is going up. So we're going to get detailed, because if you're thinking about making the move, you want to put it into your budget and know what it's going to cost. Now, the very first topic that is Googled when we talk about cost of living on Vancouver Island is, of course, real estate. Real estate is going to be your biggest monthly expense. Even if you're moving here and you've got no mortgage, you're still gonna have to pay property taxes, you're still gonna have to pay utilities. So we're gonna talk about those in more detail. But the average home, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath detached home in the Comox Valley, is gonna cost you $750,000 to $800,000. Now that's depending, of course, on the age, the finishings, and where it's located. But that's gonna give you a rough idea of what you're looking for the average price of homes. Now, we're at the end of 2024, so things are gonna fluctuate as we go into 2025, because good news for home buyers is the interest rates have just recently gone down. The Bank of Canada has announced 2 recent cuts, and each one has been 0.5%. What does that mean? It means your lending power will go further, so you'll be able to get more lending to get a bigger or better home. It also means that your payments will be a lot less. Now, the bad side of that is that when interest rates go high, home prices go up. So what we predict to see in the spring of 2025 and moving into the summer is that when there's a lot of inventory, prices will go down, but when interest rates go down, the prices of homes go up. So we predict to see that coming up here in 2025. Flip side is, if you're looking to come here and to rent, obviously rents have gone up as well. For an average 2-bedroom condo or apartment style renting, you're gonna be looking anywhere from $2,000 up to $2,800, even pushing up to $3,000 for a condo. Now, if you're looking at renting a home, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, be prepared, dip into that wallet and budget for it, because the rents go from $2,800 all the way up to $4,000. I've even seen $4,500. Again, depending on the age of the home, where it's located, if it's in the middle of the city or if it's out by the ocean. But the cost of living is going to be one of your biggest expenses. Now, this is where it comes in to have a licensed real estate agent like myself that's working local. See, we are here every day working in the Valley, so we know all the different price ranges, and we stay tuned to the market so that when properties come up, which are actually at a reasonable market value price, we're able to jump on it quickly. So again, all of our contact details are down below. So feel free, reach out to us at High Tide Real Estate Group here in the Comox Valley. We'd be happy to guide you in the way of your real estate purchase. Some of the most popular neighborhoods right now are in Comox. Now, it's a family-friendly vibe. It's close to the ocean. It's close to the CFB Comox, which is the military base. And then you've got the beautiful Comox Marina with all the views of the Beaufort snow-capped mountains. It's got a really quaint downtown. This is one of the most sought-after areas. So don't be surprised when you're looking at homes in Comox that they're going to be slightly higher than Courtenay area. And it's just because supply and demand. Now, if you're looking for a more rural lifestyle, we've got Black Creek, we've got Merville, we've got Dove Creek. These are areas that you're going to find larger acreages, 1 to 5, 10, even up to 100-acre farms out there. So if you're looking for that rural feel where it's slightly more of a slower paced lifestyle, it's only 10 to 15 minutes away from town, and there's acreages with estate homes to choose from. And nowadays, one of the most popular things for people to look for is having a rental suite. So you find a lot of these large acreages, what they'll have is they'll have a separate building with a suite like above a barn or above a garage, perfect for extra rental income, perfect for Airbnb if you're living on the property, or if you've got family, of course, that are going to be wanting to come and visit you once you move to the Comox Valley. The second most Googled item when we talk about the cost of living is, of course, food and groceries. We all need to eat. No matter what, we have to buy them. So the average price here for a family of 4 monthly budget would be anywhere from $900 up to $1,600 a month. Of course, that depends on your eating habit. Now, we have a lot of the popular stores that are across Canada, and we have some unique local markets and shops here. A lot of the major shopping that we do as our family is going to be Superstore, Thrifties, or Quality Foods. These are chains that are across Canada. They're going to have everything that your family needs, from meats, dairies, canned goods, bakeries, everything all in one, and they're at a moderate price. I'm not going to say affordable, we'll say moderately priced. As well, buying in bulk is going to save you a lot of money. So we have Costco here, which is in Courtenay, and Costco is always got that bulk pricing, but beware, if you buy that big case of cookies and crackers, you may get tired of it halfway through. Now, our family goes and buys staples from Costco, kind of is the same thing that we buy every week or every 2 weeks. And then we go and do the other stores for our fill-in for our canned goods and specialty items. Now, in the summer and in the spring and the fall, you're going to have the farmers market. Now, this is located on Headquarters Road. This is a huge farm market, and this is where all the local farmers will come there, and you can get everything from locally made honeys to flowers to croissants to vegetables to meats to you name it, even live music. These are all at the farmers market. And that happens every Saturday during the summertime. And then in the spring and the fall, it moves inside into the Native Sons Hall in Courtenay. So of course, prices will be a bit higher, but the quality is substantially better than what you're gonna get at the national grocery stores. So there's a lot of options for you in the way of groceries, and you want to budget accordingly to that. My pro tip for you would be to get into gardening. Even if you have a small yard, even if you have a balcony, you can garden and grow your own vegetables at a very affordable price. You can do them organically, and as well, you know what goes into them and you know what goes on them. So that way you're not having to worry about what kind of pesticides, if they're GMO. And a tip for you on that is we have once a year in the spring, it's called City Saturday. And this is held at the Native Sons Hall in Courtenay, where people who breed their own seeds come and bring them there, and you can buy and you can trade and you can swap. So that way you can make sure that you have seed stock that is non-GMO, that is organic, and that is actually customly raised for our environment here on the West Coast. In the way of food, give you a snapshot of what the current cost here is in 2024 going into 2025. A gallon of milk, if you're buying it at Costco, it's gonna be $5.95. If you're buying it at the other grocery stores, plan to pay about $7 a gallon. Loaf of bread averages $3 a loaf, and a dozen eggs is averaging $6 to $7. So that way you can plan according. These are the staples. And when we talk about things like fresh vegetables, lettuces, kales, you're going to be looking for anywhere from $3 to $4 a head or for a bunch. So this gives you a rough idea of what is the cost of food and groceries right here in the Comox Valley. Overall, grocery prices are still higher than the national average, but you're really paying for quality when it comes to local, fresh, organic food. The third most Googled topic in the way of costs of living on Vancouver Island is, of course, utilities. And we're going to talk about electricity first. Now, electricity in the province is run by BC Hydro. Unlike other provinces where you can shop around for different companies, we only have one. And remember, BC stands for Bring Cash. So BC Hydro, surprisingly enough though, we have one of the lowest hydro rates across the nation. The reason for this is we have a lot of hydroelectricity. If you think we have mountains, we have snow-capped and snowpacks. They are melting, coming down the mountains, and they're creating a lot of hydroelectricity. Just on the island alone in Campbell River, they're just finishing now building the John Hart Dam, which is going to be producing a lot more hydroelectricity. So the bonus for that is we get a discounted amount of rate on our hydroelectricity. Now, electricity is staged here, meaning if you use a little, you'll pay a lower rate. As soon as you go above a certain amount of kilowatt, it goes into a higher priced rating. So good news is, if you use less electricity, you're going to pay less. Use more, bad news, you're going to pay more. If you have baseboard heating, you are going to look at budgeting for anywhere between $100 to $300 a month on average. Of course, in the winter, if we have a more extreme winter, you're going to be paying a higher monthly bill. Summer, your bills are going to drop down. My pro tip here would be doing equal billing payments. This way, they take the average of all of the months and you pay that per month. And then that way you'll know how to budget what is the electricity cost per month. We also have natural gas here. So if you're looking at a home, I would recommend we look at one that has natural gas, because then you're gonna have your heating costs will be lower because gas prices are affordable. They are run by Fortis BC. That is our gas company across British Columbia. And then you usually, typically, if you have a heat pump, which has a natural gas furnace, then you can use your electricity in the summer to get your air conditioning. This is one of the most efficient ways to heat your house with natural gas, and then cool it in the summer for when we do have those hot months with a heat pump with electricity on there. Also, when we talk about utilities, we've got to think about water and sewer. So if you're living in the city of Courtenay or in the town of Comox, you're going to have municipal services providing you water and sewage, and they average about $50 to $70 per month. Now, it's billed on an annual basis, and it's actually put into your property taxes so that way you'll actually have it included in there, but you'll want to have that budgeted in. And of course, it's depending on usage. So when we talk about water, 10 years ago, we didn't have water meters. Now water meters are coming in. So if you're looking at a tub, or you have a lot of people that are going to be living in your household, think about the water, because the water will be charged according to usage. Sewage is going to be on a flat rate. If you're thinking about a property that is more in the acreage, in that Black Creek or Merville area, chances are you're going to have a well and you're going to have a septic field. So when it comes time looking at those type of properties, what we'll do is we will have a certified wastewater practitioner come in and inspect the septic. Septic fields now run in the cost of $20,000 up to $35,000 for replacement. So we'll have those inspected before we have a sale on the home. The other thing you want to have inspected is, of course, the water, the well, and we have reputable well companies that will actually do that inspection for you. And with working with a licensed realtor like myself, this is something that we will set up all of those inspections upon getting an accepted offer. Again, our contact information is down below. Reach out, set up a Zoom call. We'll be happy to walk you through what does that process look like to buy a rural or a city property. Pro tip for utilities: there's a lot of eco-conscious home building that is going on right now in Courtenay. They're using leading edge technology and energy efficiency in order to cut your bills significantly, sometimes up to 80%. So when we're looking at new home construction, this will be something that we definitely want to focus on, because it may cost you a little bit more for the home in the beginning, but it's going to save you tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run. Number 4, the cost of transportation. Of course, we live on an island. There's a cost to get to the island and also to get around. Now, if you're from one of the big cities, you are going to love the ease about moving around the Comox Valley. On the island, we only have one major highway, which is great. So you can't get lost. Well, maybe you could, but it's going to be really hard to get lost. Getting over to the island, you've got multiple ways. The first way is BC Ferries. BC Ferries run a ferry from Vancouver over to Nanaimo, and also we have one that goes from Powell River over to Comox. The cost of the ferries, 2 people and your vehicle, are going to be $120. Now, in 2025, they are planning on raising the rates. I saw the news the other day, an average of 30%. So add that on to your cost of your budget is getting here. Now, also getting off, you're going to be paying the same to go the other way. You do have some other options on how to get to and from the mainland. The second option is going to be the Hello Ferry. Hello Ferry takes off from downtown Nanaimo and it goes to downtown Vancouver. Now, this is one of my favorite ways. It is a passenger-only ferry and is a high-speed ferry. So a BC Ferries with a car is going to take 1 hour and 35 minutes to 2 hours. The Hello Ferry, you'll be in downtown Vancouver in 1 hour. And the cost for this is $40 to $60, depending on the seat selection for it. What's great about the Hello Ferry is you actually get to choose your seat. So when you're traveling with your family, you can get all the seats together. And then when you walk on, you know exactly where you're going to be sitting. One of the quickest ways to get from the Comox Valley to Vancouver is going to be flying. Now, you've got some choices in the way of airlines. You've got WestJet, you've got Air Canada, and you've got Pacific Coastal Airlines. They take off from YQQ, which is Comox International Airport, and a 25-minute short flight, you are at YVR, which is Vancouver International Airport. So this is handy for any international flights, any traveling you want to do, heading off to Mexico, heading off anywhere in the world, that will be your next jump. Or if you just want to go over to Vancouver, and you want to go in and see a show, you want to go see a concert, this would be my suggestion to go. Cost-wise, you're looking at $175 to $200, and it can be higher if you do a last minute flight. So my advice, pro tip, book in advance for your airline tickets. Now, while you're in the Comox Valley, you're gonna need to fill up that car. So we're gonna talk about the cost of fuel. Cost of fuel runs anywhere from $1.50 a liter all the way up to $2 a liter. Now, how that varies and fluctuates is seasonal, of course. In the summertime, you're gonna be paying the peak price of fuel. Funny enough, that's when the demand is the highest. And because we're in a tourist area, we get a lot of RVs, a lot of boats, a lot of tourists driving through the area. That is when the fuel is at its highest. Typically in the winter, that's when fuel starts to drop down. Now, you'd think that fuel would be a higher price on Vancouver Island than Vancouver, but you'd be thinking wrong. There's actually a 10-cent per liter surcharge levy in the Lower Mainland, which is Vancouver. So if the price over in Courtenay is $1.59 a liter, you're gonna be paying more for it over in the Lower Mainland. Now, a pro tip on fuel, if you don't already have your Costco card, get a Costco card. The most inexpensive place to buy fuel in the Comox Valley is Costco. It typically runs 5 cents to 10 cents cheaper than any of the other gas stations. When we talk about cars, we also got to think about insurance. Now, when we look at Ontario or Alberta, you have different companies that are insurance carriers that you can shop around to find the rate and to find the terms that best fit you. In BC, we don't have that luxury. We have one insurance company called ICBC, and that stands for the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia. I think it stands for I can't believe the cost because it is higher. Budget in $1,500 to $2,000 a year for your annual insurance. Of course, that's depending on if you've got an old beater or a luxury mobile, so you're gonna be going in that variety. My advice in the way of being the most economical in the way of vehicles, go electric. It's the way of the future. We have electric charging stations located right in the center of town. Some of the local car dealerships have that as well. And rumor has it, I saw online that Tesla is going to be opening a supercharge station here in Courtenay. And the reason for that is because we are central on the island. And so we have a lot of tourists. They've got to come and charge their car. So if they're coming to charge and they're heading up to Mount Washington, they need a high-speed charging port. So check it out online. Tesla's going to be coming with a supercharge station. Pro tip for you for getting around Courtenay, Number one, it's going to save you money, but number two, it's going to improve your health. Get yourself a great bike, or another option is an e-bike as well. They're one of the most popular ways to get around the Comox Valley because everything is just so close. We also have the rental bikes now. So if you don't want to own a bike and you don't want to pay for the maintenance or worry about where to store it, you can literally go in, they have an app, you program it, you unlock the bike, and you can buy the hour for using a rental bike. And when you're done, there's multiple locations across the Comox Valley where you can just park it, walk away, and no problem. It's great if you're going to one of the Gulf Islands as well. It saves you A, having the cost of the car, but B, the time. Because in the summertime, if you're taking a ferry from the Comox Valley over to Denman or Hornby Island, sometimes you'll have a 2, 3, or 4 sailing wait. With bicycles, you just get to walk onto the next ferry, and it's a great way to explore the Gulf Islands, go and check out the small markets, and go and tour the wineries that are local and around here. And topic number 5 for the most Google, the cost of living in the Comox Valley, is healthcare and medical services. So what's great about that is we have excellent healthcare, especially with the modern North Island Comox Valley Hospital in Courtenay. This is where actually my daughter was born recently. Excellent healthcare, great rooms, great facility, modern aged equipment. Now, basic healthcare services in BC is covered by the medical services plan, but what you'll want to budget for is extra costs, things like dental, prescriptions, physiotherapy. Now, here are some average out-of-pocket expenses. If you're going to be getting your teeth cleaned, which we should all be doing it once a year, your cost here, you're going to budget for $200 up to $300. Of course, cavities, root canals, and extra work are going to be more on top of that. And prescriptions are the most affordable with extended health care. So if you've got that extended health care, you can get that. Obviously, genetic brands are going to be cheaper than the big national brands. The downside of the health system is the limited amount of GPs. We go into more details on that in our previous video called The Truth About Living in Comox, the pros and cons unrevealed. So check that out. There is a shortage of general practitioner doctors here. Combine that with 2 recent closings of walk-in clinics. And what that means is longer waits for you to get a GP for your family. So my pro tip with that would be start to apply before you move to the Comox Valley. It's not uncommon that I hear people that have to wait 2, 3, and 4 years before they get their family general practitioner. So the best thing is to plan ahead, start applying, call all the local doctor's office, and then get yourselves on a waiting list so that when you do move here, you've got your family doctor waiting for you with open arms. So there you have it, the 5 most Googled topics on the cost of living here in the Comox Valley. So no matter if you're moving here to retire, for work, or to raise your family, this region offers fantastic lifestyles, even if it comes at a slightly higher price tag. Now, if you are looking to make the move, no matter if it's 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months, all of our contact details are down below. Set up a Zoom call with myself, Justin White, or any of our licensed real estate agents here at High Tide Real Estate. We'd be happy to make the move smooth and easy for you and your family. Don't forget to click the like button, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell so you'll get instant notifications about the real estate market here in the Comox Valley and North Vancouver Island. We'll see you on the next video, and if you're in town, reach out. We'd love to see you in person.